Hey guys, so I am officially 1 week out from being in the hospital. Um, I am 9 days since surgery. This is my first one since surgery. I finally got out of the house today for the first time and went to church to watch two of my girls get baptized, and so I definitely couldn't miss that. I would love to say that it was super easy going to church and pain free, but it wasn't. It was really hard, especially because my church is very loud. So the earplugs definitely wasn't enough, but I went anyways, and God got me through it. So it was really difficult. I tried to do praise and worship, and I had to wear earplugs. Well, when you wear earplugs, you can hear yourself singing. And that's a bad thing for me because I can't sing to save my life. And it was just really, really bad. So I couldn't even sing for praise and worship because I could hear myself, and that was hurting my head just hearing myself. So, yeah. So, I definitely am ready to be able to be back in church and enjoy praise and worship the way that I enjoy it and not be tired. Also, sorry, I'm already yawning. I don't know what it is about these videos that made me start yawning. Um, I felt like I was sitting at church because I was high on pain pills at church, which, like, I'm basically high on pain pills constantly. But, having to, like, take pain pills at church was weird. Um, Definitely felt very weird. Um, it was nice getting to see people today. It was definitely overwhelming of trying to talk to a lot of people. Talking a lot takes a lot out of me. Um, I also am having a lot of problems with my vision. Um, so it was definitely problems with my vision that I didn't have problems with before surgery. And so basically, if you look into the sun and then you try to look at anything else and the way that everything looks after looking directly into the sun, that's how my vision is all the time. Um, I'm hoping that it's normal and that it will just go away with the healing. Because if it doesn't, that's really going to suck to not be able to see it clear enough to even drive. Because that's definitely, my vision's not clear enough to even allow me to drive, which not allowed to drive for a long time anyways because of the pain pills and the healing and everything else. So the pain that I experience from brain surgery is definitely not anything like I expected. I expected it to be like really, really sore back here and be in a lot of pain, but I'm not. It feels like maybe I got hit with a brush in the head, and so I'm bruised, but that's it. Um, but I get this massive pain over on this side of my face, behind my eye, that just is unbearable most of the time. It just feels like I've got somebody compacting into my head, and then my head will beat with my heart, and it's a mess. And little random things will set it off. Like, there even be kids screaming, and that doesn't bother me. But then Jessica went to make me some juice the other day, so just juicing, just the machine of that took me from a pain level of a 2 to a 9 in about 5 minutes, and had me laid up in bed for 12 hours with the pain that just wasn't going away. And so, just little things, just like the phone vibrating will do it to me. And so it's really strange trying to heal from brain surgery. I also am not sleeping. Last night I finally slept for 4 hours. That's the most that I have slept combined since I had surgery. I'm lucky to sleep an hour a night. It's been averaging about 30 minutes a night if I'm lucky. And it's not from lack of not trying, because I'm not supposed to be on any electronic devices. So no computer, no phone, no TV. Um, I'm definitely not on it as much as I typically would be, but I'm definitely not on it, not on it at all. Um, it's a really bad addiction, and so it's really hard not to be on any devices, especially when I'm bored out of my mind. I can't read, because it's hard for me to not only comprehend trying to read a book, but it also puts a lot of strain on my brain trying to comprehend, and I can't really see the words because my vision being so messed up, it's hard to even just see it. So I have started loom knitting, and so, like, as if I didn't already feel like an old lady, and I feel like even more of one. I have here I am, like, in my adjustable bed. Oh yeah, that's how cool I am. My bed moves, um, which Jessica's daughter really loves it. We've been sandwiching ourselves into the bed and then unsandwiching ourselves. She says it's a really fun game. So, yeah, I've had a few things that are definitely better since surgery. My memory is a whole lot better, minus the pain pills. Um, my when I do actually sleep, my quality of sleep is better, even though I'm not getting very much. Um, my energy is much better. I am not dealing with the massive fatigue anymore, except for um, just doing a little bit puts me over the edge as far as my brain goes, because it's too much on my brain. But I want to get up and clean, and I want to get up and do things, and so it's really annoying that I can't, now that I finally have the energy to. Um, so I'm basically just spending my time yawning right now, apparently. Spending my time just doing things I'm not supposed to be doing, and looming. I figure I can make people Christmas presents, or start making like scarves or something, if I can actually get it to actually come out looking like something, because as of right now I'm not doing so well. Maybe make some extra money that way, since I'm going to be out of work for quite a while, which my boys came and saw me yesterday, and I was really excited to see them. Yeah, I was really upset though, the fact that I was feeling really good, and then they were here about 10 minutes, and my pain level just out of nowhere shot up really high and landed me back in bed for several hours on a whole bunch of pain pills again, trying to get it to back under control. And so I had a hard time the first few nights after surgery in the hospital. I was definitely regretting the surgery, and just because it was the worst pain ever, that I couldn't have ever even imagined being in that much pain. And so I had definitely a few moments where I wish that I had never did the surgery, and then I find stories like this 10-year-old boy named Kyler, and has he found out about his brain tumor about the same time that I had my surgery, and his is an operable brain tumor, on the brain, actually on the brain stem. Mine was, which is crazy risky. Mine was actually pushing up on the brain stem, which is why mine was so risky. And not only is his, inoperable, but his is also cancer. And so, in the matter of 10 days, he went from being this normal little boy to almost a vegetable. And it stories like his, where he's still praying and believing for a miracle, and even his classmates, are praying that if if everybody prays, then God has to answer his prayers. And um, I know that God has a reason for everything, and that he's working and fighting for that kid, even though we can't see it. We don't know what battles it is that he's fighting. And I just definitely am praying hard that he gets that. And, that story that makes me feel awful for regretting the surgery, for having my life saved. Um, it just pray for him. Pray for Kyler. It has me tore up. Even though it's a kid that I don't know, just knowing that he's having to fight this battle at such a young age it's not fair. It's not right. And I never ever once thought, this isn't fair for myself, of finding out I had a brain tumor and the battle. And I never thought that, this isn't fair. Because I've watched the miracle that God has worked through me and through my story and through my life. But being the outside person and seeing this young boy suffer through it, to me, that's not fair. And so I wish I could give him my miracle. I wish I could give him my life-saving procedure. And so I really, really, really hope that just somebody is able to see his story and somebody is able to help him and perform that miracle for him, or that God will take that tumor away from him and just shine the light on his body and keep him pain-free, and keep him full of hope and spirit like he currently is. So I definitely am. I've got to continue to thank God every day for every blessing that I have, because I am beyond blessed, more than I deserve. And I'm blessed with Jessica that's been taking care of me and here with me every night and every day. She's that one person that I've been able to depend 100% on. And she's, she jumps to anything that I need. If I'm actually craving something, then she will make it or go get it, or no matter what it is, she's always right there. I call her name and she comes running. And I couldn't have asked for a better friend. And I couldn't have asked God to bless me with a better person to be my friend and to be here. And literally without her, I would be dead. Wouldn't have had the miracle without her. And she says over and over, it's not me, it's God. And it definitely is God. But if she wasn't obedient and didn't allow God to use her, then I would not be here. And so I am so, so, so grateful. I met her a year ago, and it feels like I've known her my whole life. We definitely have our moments where we butt heads because we're both Taurus, and so we're both very stubborn, which I think is what makes us even better together. And so I am beyond grateful to her. I like to screw with her too. I made her mad. My first shower, after my shower, we were combing my hair and combing around my incision, and we were trying to separate the hair so we could get a good picture and clearly see what it looks like, because my surgeon takes pride in the fact that he doesn't shave any of the hair. He only shaves like a thin point of where he actually cut, and that's it. And so she's sitting there combing it, and so all of a sudden I'm like, ow! And like I jump, and she like literally flew off the bed and jumped and may have said a few choice words because I made her think that she hurt me when she really didn't. I was just screwing with her. So she was not very happy with me about that one. She wanted to punch me, but she didn't. Um, so I still like to do that to her, though. It's still funny. Apparently, people's blowing up my Facebook right now. So I still like to have my humor. That's been kind of my thing throughout this whole journey is my humor, and so I have not lost that with surgery. That's for sure. She doesn't like my humor all the time, but I like it. So my grossest thing on me right now, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if you can actually see this or not in this lighting. These are my lovely track marks, my lovely bruises going on here. I don't know if you can see them that well. I had several IVs all up and down me, and so this is still from a week being out. This one was my arterial line. Another IV here. I'm pretty much healed on this side now. I had 2 over on this side also. But yeah, that's pretty intense still for 9 days out from surgery. But it's crazy because they don't hurt at all. But I look like a real druggie. Track marks on my arms and popping pain pills all the time, and yeah, good stuff. So I really don't think that I have much more to say other than, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I wish I could show you the incision right now, but I can't because it's pretty hidden down in here, but there's pictures on Facebook. I will never forget the surgeon's face coming out of surgery. I woke up right after surgery, and so I think that they said not even 5 minutes done with surgery. They took the tube out of my mouth, and I woke up, and I don't think I'll ever forget his face coming in there saying, "Oh yeah, I broke my record. That was the fastest I've ever done it," and huge smile on his face, and because being that they found out that I have a hole in my heart, I had to have a different operation. The original surgery was going to be me setting up in a chair, and they were going to go down through here to reach the tumor, but due to the hole in my heart, I actually had to be laying down, and so they actually had to go up here instead through a different area of the brain. Because they had to go through that area of the brain, made it into a more complicated surgery than it already was. So with that being said, it was supposed to take from the time he opened to the time he closed 4 to 6 hours. Well, because God's hand was guiding through the whole surgery, it only ended up taking him from the time he opened to the time he closed an hour. So the entire surgery took a total of 3 hours because of closing. But yeah, and only an hour from the time he opened to the time he went to close, which is crazy from, 4 to 6 hours to only an hour. So it definitely shows how God definitely had his hands in it. My surgeon even prayed with me and my family before surgery, which is just, truly a blessing. And it was definitely a huge relief to know for sure, that God's hands are definitely the ones that are working. And it was crazy, going to surgery. I was never scared. And so I probably should have started talking about this in the beginning. Sorry, my incision itches. It's like a scab, like when you have a scab and you keep wanting to pick at it. That's me with this. It's pretty ridiculous. Keep wanting to play with it, and I know I shouldn't. So going into surgery, I was completely coherent. They hadn't done any of the drugs yet. As I rolled into the operating room, and so I actually moved myself onto the operation table. Was back there with the entire operation team. completely awake, talking, still remember all of it, because I'm that crazy person that always remembers things even after anesthesia. And so I'm looking up and I'm just waiting, and I'm like, okay, is the fear going to kick in? You know, is it, hasn't yet, is it going to kick in? And so I'm looking up and I'm looking at, you know, the big, bright, huge surgical lights, and I'm waiting, like, okay, I'm on the table now. Here's all the team around me. They're scrubbing up. Here's the lights above me. Am I gonna start getting scared? And it never happened. Like, I literally never got scared. I never had that fear run through my body. And I'm so thankful to God for that, because I had LASIK done 3 years ago and I was terrified for 3 weeks ahead of time. And then I almost chickened out the day of LASIK surgery because I was so scared. And, you know, God took all the fear from me, and He never let it creep back in, and it never came, and which is just amazing. So I'm so thankful um, for that. And I woke up after the surgery, and apparently I was extremely happy-go-lucky, and my family had relief because as soon as surgery ended, I needed my sunglasses. It was so bright, and which I still wear my sunglasses everywhere, which cracks me up because my dad always would sing, you know, I wear my sunglasses at night, and now I wear sunglasses at night. Sorry, straying off the topic here. Um, and so I guess they had called and told Jessica, you know, I was out of surgery, that it was still going to be a few hours till they could see me because I had to wake up and everything. And then not even 5 minutes later, they called her back and said, Lacey needs her sunglasses. They're in her purse. She says you have them. And so they knew that I didn't have memory loss, being that I knew that coming right out. And apparently Jessica said that she could hear me over the phone um, from the nurse. Apparently I was singing, I'm okay, Jessica, I'm okay, and like singing that I was okay and that God had this, and told you God was gonna take care of me and everything was gonna be just fine. And yeah, I felt bad for all the people in that recovery room that could hear me singing, because it is, as I said, you know, at the beginning of this video, I could hear myself singing today, trying to do worship with earplugs in my ears, and that was awful. So, um, I they also had physical therapy set up for me. Um, they had complete. I'm sorry, it's something about these videos that made me yawn. Um, Complete physical therapy set up for me to relearn how to bathe and dress myself and feed myself and walk and talk and basically every function that you can think of. They had that physical therapy set up and ready for me, um, which is scary to know that they were that was already set in place with the therapist, that they were expecting that to happen. But you know, God is good, and it did. Um, Typically, after the surgery, it is typical to not be able to walk for a while and have to actually learn how to walk again. And I went through, I had one session with the physical therapist with that, and I had no issue at all. We got halfway down the hallway. I had the walker, and he noticed that I wasn't even really using the walker, so he told me that I didn't have to use the walker if I didn't want to. And so I only used it halfway down, and then the rest of it I walked without the walker. And then that's when he told me about all the other additional physical therapy, and he asked me if he thinks that I need it, and he basically gave me that look like, you don't need this. And so I said no. So he let me know that it's still an option available if I need it. And so, another thing that I'm thanking God for is that I don't need it, and I'm doing just fine. And I have a walker here at home, and I haven't even had to touch it because I don't need it. They were very surprised I'm recovering better and faster than they expected me to. And the hospital is definitely doing much better than they expected me to. And um, I had a hard night the first night. I really, the first 6 hours after surgery, I didn't even need pain medication. I was on top of the world, feeling just fine, and I really thought that was going to be it for me. Like, I'm just fine. I'm going to get to go home. Everything's going to be perfect. It's going to be like I never even had surgery now. And then that night came, and that night was literally hell. It was like I was in hell. It was the worst night of my life, the worst pain ever. It was definitely pain to the point of I wanted to die because I was hurting so bad. And which is not like me. I'm not one to give up, and I was ready to give up. And I know that wasn't easy for the people that were there with me to see me like that either. And I was literally crying out to God because I didn't understand. I thought I wasn't going to be in any more pain. And so that next day I was feeling better, and so I was like, okay, I get it. God just wanted me to have one night of massive pain so I can truly understand, because He's called me for a purpose to help others in my situation. And if I don't ever physically truly go through this pain, how am I supposed to help other people that are going through it? And then that next night, it all hit again, and I was just like, seriously, I can't take this anymore. And sure enough, I've had a few more days like that, and I still go through my periods of episodes of just awful pain. But I know that the worst has come, and I'm gonna have my good days and my bad days, and that it is brain surgery. And but like my shirt says, I am a survivor. I don't know if you can see that, but I am a survivor, and I will survive, and I am going to survive, and I'm going to get through it because God has got me this far, and I will never give up. And I'm going to just continue to be obedient and whatever He is calling me to do and tells me to do, and just continue to pray for my healing and my journey and my strength throughout this journey. If you have anything you are wanting to know or want me to talk about on these videos, just comment on it and ask me anything. I'm an open book for anything that you want to know, anything you want to see. So thank you for watching, and God bless.